Winston is better for the Saints than Drew Brees was this last season?
I said it last year. And the funny thing is they still haven't opened him up. They still have not allowed him to do the things that he was doing in Tampa Bay, which is obviously, I know people are going to say, well, yeah, throwing for interceptions, but throwing for 5,000 yards and 30-plus touchdowns in the season. I really like Jameis Winston. I've been very vocal about him being a top 10 quarterback in this league. I've been very vocal about him being the best quarterback on the Saints roster. That being said, I'm going to slow down just a little bit because, yes, he had 4 touchdowns and 1 interception, but he was 15 of 30. He threw for 279 yards. His rating was a 108.2. That was his passer rating. But he was 15 of 30. And that's concerning. When you're only completing 50% of your passes, it's a little concerning. And what he's doing this season, is 60% of his passes. So I want to see a little bit more production. I want to see them open it up a little bit more. I think they're getting to that. They did that a little bit against Washington. I think his long was like 72 yards. And I think that was actually the longest pass of his career as well. So maybe they'll start to open him up. Maybe they'll start to let him loose. They're going to have to with their schedule coming up. That schedule that the New Orleans Saints have. I mean, they've got, I can't remember who they have this way. I know they've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up in 2 weeks. They got the Seahawks this weekend on next Monday night. And then Falcons, Titans, Eagles before they get to Buffalo. And, I mean, these are some teams that you can really open it up on. The Buccaneers, you can absolutely open it up on. And they've showed signs of being that defense where you can score with them. So that's what I want to see out of them. I think Jameis has it in him. I would just want to see them allow him to do what he can do. And if he throws 2 or 3 picks, but throws for 5 touchdowns and throws for 500 yards, I'm okay with that because you're coming out with a win. That defense is good enough to overcome, 1 or 2 interceptions. So I'm okay with Jameis Winston, throwing a couple picks here and there because I'm okay with a guy who's throwing for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, even if he's throwing 18 interceptions in a season. Not the 30 that he threw in Tampa Bay, but I think that was the aberration. The guy's averaged only 16 a season for his career so far. So the 15 to 18 range, I'm okay with that from a Jameis Winston if he's throwing for 5,000 yards and 30-plus touchdowns.
Yeah. So on the flip side of that, you said you want them to push the ball down the field per se, but if you think about this, Michael Thomas is out. Like, he is on the IR, and I don't think he's coming back this season because there's rumors of him wanting to trade, etc. So when you look at the wide receiver depth, they have Marquez Callaway and Kenny Stills. That's pretty much all of the receivers that they have, and so when you take away that downfield threat that Michael Thomas had, yes, Kenny Stills can still open it up a little bit, but there's a reason why he's been on 4 different teams in 4 years, right? I mean, it's just like he is just not that good of receiver. So when you look at it, the best playmaker that the Saints have on their team is Alvin Kamara, and he is a running back. And that's when you nickel and dime down the field. And I think that's how the Saints are going to have a lot of success this year, is nickel and diming down the field.
Let me throw this at you.
Okay.
The Cleveland Browns are clearly, and Baker Mayfield especially, clearly not in love with Odell Beckham Jr.
Right.
Should the Saints make an offer for Odell Beckham Jr.? I mean, you could probably get Odell Beckham Jr. for a 4th-round pick. I'd give up a 4th-round pick for Odell Beckham Jr.